A very good and early morning here from the airport of Edmonton, and Happy New Year and welcome to 2020. This is my first flight of the year and I'm really excited for everything that's gonna come in 2020. My name is Robin and I want to thank you very much for taking the time to watch this new video of mine. I'm here in Edmonton to fly with Air Canada on their Airbus A319 to Vancouver. It's not the first time that I'm flying on the A319. We did it before to Mexico, but today we're trying out the economy class on this aircraft. So let's go to the gate, then the A319, and then on to Vancouver. So please, come with me. I got to the airport of Edmonton at 5 in the morning to jump on one of the earliest flights of the day. I wasn't able to check in online, but since there weren't any queues this morning, it took mere minutes from getting to the airport and getting my boarding pass to getting to airside. It was the first weekend of January and some of the Christmas decorations were still up, but overall the terminal was back to normal. The airport slowly came to life and most of the shops and restaurants were open already, although I was hoping to get some food on the flight. That hour-and-a-half flight over the Canadian Rockies today is operated with a 22-year-old Airbus A319. The most important question I want to get answered on this flight is whether it's worth it to spend a few extra dollars to sit in a preferred seat, and specifically right behind business class. An interesting and lesser known fact about Air Canada's A319 fleet is that Air Canada still fly the first A319 prototype and Air Canada Rouge fly prototype number 2. Aside from 13 aircraft in the mainline fleet that are operated for regular passenger flights, Air Canada also have 3 A319s that are used for charter flights under the Air Canada Jets flag. On the Jets website, they say that past and current customers include Canadian hockey teams, as well as Phil Collins, U2, and even the Spice Girls. The aircraft had to get de-iced before we were able to make our way to Vancouver. Luckily, due to quick boarding, we were able to leave the gate before scheduled time. For this flight, I chose the standard fare, which doesn't come with free seat selection. Upon choosing my seat, this extra legroom seat in the front of the cabin only costed $3 more than other seats throughout the cabin, so it was a rather easy choice. Your in-flight entertainment screen is somewhat off-center because the business class seat in front is wider, and like with all other seats, it comes with in-seat power. In the seat pocket, you can find a safety card, in-flight magazine, and an ad for an aeroplane credit card. And the legroom is fantastic. A bonus feature that no other row in coach has, and I'm sure my friend Blake Edmonton approves of, a coat hook. The disadvantage of a bulkhead row like this one is usually that the tray tables can be found in the armrest, making the seat slightly more narrow, but the gained legroom makes up for it. The middle seat also has its own entertainment screen, and this too can be found in the armrest, taking up some more of the seat width. It's very nice for a narrow-body aircraft to have in-flight entertainment. That's something that most European airlines don't have. Unfortunately, like on all my Air Canada flights on the A320 family, I have not had any good experience with the device. It's very unresponsive, and in this case, the touchscreen barely works at all. It takes forever to load, and by the time you have a movie loaded, you're halfway to your destination, so I usually revert back to the moving map. Air Canada has a really nice in-flight menu with a great variety of food items for reasonable prices. Usually you also get a free non-alcoholic drink on your flight, but unfortunately on this flight the complete service was cancelled due to the turbulence in the flight. The crew was very communicative and the captain kept us up to date with the turbulence. Because of that, I noticed that I didn't mind that the service was called off at all. The January issue of En Route, Air Canada's in-flight magazine, has been updated and their brand new Airbus A320 has been added to the list. I am booked on the inaugural flight for this new aircraft and I will be sharing all my experiences on my Instagram and my Twitter accounts, for which you can find the links in the description. The 22-year-old bird is Wi-Fi enabled, although slightly expensive for a flight like this. A flight pass might be interesting on a long 4-hour domestic flight or on flights to Mexico. On your phone, you also have access to the moving map, although it's not very interactive. Just over an hour after takeoff, and without the seatbelt sign ever getting turned off, we got ready for landing. Stay watching for my final 2 cents right after that landing. Well, after about an hour and a half flight, we made it to Vancouver, although right now I am in Phoenix in my hotel room and I only had an hour between this flight and my next flight, and I also had to go through security and through US Customs. So I didn't want to miss my next flight, so that's why I'm doing my outro here, if you don't mind. First and foremost, I have to say that the communication from the cockpit on this flight was amazing. A couple of things had to be announced. One of them was a de-icing process, which had to be done, even though we left even early, so we had plenty of time to do the de-icing, but it was still explained by the pilot, by the captain, that a funny comparison, I think, with scraping your windshield in the morning. I really liked that part. Also, they did warn us that the seatbelt signs would be on for a little bit longer than usual, and that was because we would have some turbulent air. This eventually turned to the whole flight, so we didn't get to stand up at all. And due to that, even the drink service was cancelled as well. But I didn't mind, and that was basically because the communication from the crew and from the cockpit was done so well. So props to Air Canada on this. This was great. Unfortunately, it was too dark as well. I love flying over the Rocky Mountains. Every time I fly to Vancouver, I love to see it. Unfortunately, it was a little bit too dark on the landing and takeoff, and we couldn't really see anything over the Rockies. And because of the turbulence, I couldn't take any footage as well of the cabin. So if you do want to learn more about Air Canada's Airbus A319, I mentioned my flight to Mexico on the A319 in business class in the intro. So if you want to learn more about the aircraft, I will link my other video in the top right corner here. Anyway, that's it for me today. I am going to enjoy the warm weather here in Phoenix, and then I'll see you next week. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more like this, please subscribe to my channel. And otherwise, see you next week.